Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Marcus Aurelius, and this is Total War Attila, the Eastern Roman Empire, and history. And in the last episode, we discussed the situation, the very basic and undetailed situation of the Eastern Empire between the death of Theodosius and the reign of Leo I. And we will continue speaking about Leo in this episode. And also, we're going to attack the Warriors of Fortune here in Zafar. And this is the kind of battle that I hate fighting on the battle map, and I always let it auto-resolve because it's always just a hassle and I end up losing more troops. But again, the game is almost over and I want to get through the history, so I think it's a good idea. This army is very similar to the one we fought in the last battle, except there are no Numeroi or Bathhouse Boys, no Heterea, though we do have 2 units of Tagmata, and this time around we have Elite Ballistiari. We also don't have any siege engines, but strangely enough, the enemy does. They have 4 half-strength or worse onagers. So let's do it. And we just have 1 medium siege tower. But I think the wall should probably have holes in it by now, one would hope. So after the disastrous naval expedition against the Vandals in Carthage, Leo was able to have Aspar, the barbarian general who basically controlled the Eastern Roman Empire, assassinated due to the help of his Isaurian allies. However, Leo died of dysentery after 17 years of rule, which is not a good way to go, folks. Seriously. He left behind, however, a 7-year-old grandson. But this grandson was only emperor for a year before he too died. And so, his name was Leo II, by the way. And so then, after him, his father, a man named Zeno, became emperor. Now, Zeno was the son-in-law of Leo I. He married Leo I's daughter, and he was one of the Isaurians. So he was considered by many of the Romans to be an uncouth barbarian. Oh yeah, this is going to be rough. This is going to be a rough siege. We might actually lose this if they're able to set our tower on fire. But it looks like there aren't any... Well, there's the gates here, but there aren't any... Oh, we do have a battering ram. We have numerous battering rams. Oh, okay. Never mind. Still, though, I hate doing that. Can we not? Where's this? Okay. Alright, so we'll go after both gates at once. Cavalry back here. If you feel like I'm being a bit cavalier about these battles, it's pretty much because I am. I mean, the game's almost won. All I want to do is talk to you about history and show you fun stuff while I'm doing it. I'm really not concerned about loss of life. We have so much money that it doesn't really even matter. Alright. So you guys will go there. And you guys will go there. Alright, so this, by the way, was in 474. That's when Leo II died, and he was replaced by his father Zeno. So, Zeno's entire reign was pretty much all revolts. He had to fight off no less than 4 separate revolts, because again, he was considered by many people to be just a filthy, uncultured barbarian and not deserving of the empire. He even, for part of his reign, had to flee Constantinople and let the usurpers live in the capital while he went back to Isauria. But eventually, he was able to return to the capital and put everything to rights. And they're shooting at me with these onagers, barely even manned by anybody, but I think we're going to be just fine. But here's where things get stone cold, ladies and gentlemen. Zeno was actually not a bad emperor, and he wasn't terrible, but he died in 491. And legend has it that either he was incapacitated due to being drunk or due to being super ill, but they said that his wife, Ariadne, the daughter of Leo I, had him buried alive, and that he was actually shouting from inside his sarcophagus, to help him, to let him out, but she would not let anyone open the sarcophagus. So, that's potentially probably not how it happened, but it's still pretty rough. I mean, Ariadne was stone cold. If the story is true, of course. So then Zeno's wife Ariadne married an Illyrian nobleman by the name of Anastasius, if you will. He was a capable administrator, actually. He did pretty well, and he improved the financial situation of the empire quite a bit. He reduced corruption, and he fixed up the tax laws. And he also built a ton of fortifications on the frontier with the Persians. Now, this was important because during his reign there was a minor war against the Persians. However, his reign was also not super peaceful internally. It began with Isaurian results coming as it did. Oh, that was just a terrible hit. Look at that. I mean, it was a great hit for them, terrible hit for us, because he had taken over for the Isaurian Zeno and the dubious nature of his death, so the Isaurians revolted, and he had to deal, of course, with the Persian attack. But when Anastasius died in 518, he left the empire in much better shape than he found it. An interesting fact about him was that he is what's called heterochromatic, which means that each of his eyes were a different color. He had one eye that was black and one eye that was blue. Come on, guys. I don't think we're going to get through this gate. These guys are already wavering. This one should be easier. Wait, they opened the gate and came after us? They charged us? Well, then, let's break through this gate, fellas. Alright. You guys, I need you to hurry up. Alright, so these guys are running. That's okay, you guys come over here. And yeah, this is going to be a fiasco. I knew that getting into it. Attacking a walled city without onagers is not an easy task, but here comes these guys. They're hopefully going to help. They are spearmen, so the cavalry they're charging at us are going to have a hard time. And again, all these units are half strength, so it shouldn't take too much to cause them to... Oh, these guys have the steady ability, which is pretty nice. So we're just going to force the matter at the gate here. Let them charge us with their camel cavalry. We have more infantry on the way. I'm not going to bring in my cavalry to get slaughtered. And I guess I could bring up the archers, but I just don't see what benefit they're going to have in this situation. We've got the gate. They have a very small amount of infantry there. We should be able to break through them. Get rid of some of these cavalry soon, too. We already have another group of spearmen on the way. Let's get them involved. Although, pretty much it looks like they're just going to be standing behind the other ones. So, Anastasius didn't leave an heir. So, when he died, command of the empire actually went to the leader of his palace guard, who was a man by the name of Justin. Now, Justin's an interesting guy because he started life as a peasant and a swineherd in Illyria from the Balkans, and he arrived to Constantinople as a teenager with nothing but the shirt on his back. And he joined the army at a young age as a teenager, and he was just really good at being in the army. He rose through the ranks. He became a general under Anastasius, and eventually he became the leader of the palace guard. So when Anastasius died, he was 68 years old. And I mean, Justin was 68 years old. And really, you guys brought your rams with you? That's probably my fault. There we go. Steady. And attack. I don't know, folks. We might actually lose this one just because it was a really stupid battle to do in person. I should have, but I want to talk about history. So anyways, so there was Justin. So Justin, through obviously controlling the only group of armed men in the city of Constantinople at the time, but also through gifts to important people, strategic gifts, he was declared the emperor. Now, the thing about Justin was he was illiterate, but he was wise enough to know that in order to keep his job as emperor, in order to succeed, he was going to have to get wise men to counsel him. And one of those wise men that he had on his team was his nephew, a man by the name of Peter, whom Justin had spent an awful lot of money to educate and basically make him everything that Justin wasn't. And Peter, we know better today as Justinian. That's basically where the history ends for right now. With the death of Justin, Justinian takes over as emperor, and then we have the last Roman series starring Belisarius and Justinian, which we will get to next. So that was a pretty quick summary of over 100 years of history, but moving on, let's try to win this battle somehow. We're having a really rough go of it, despite the fact that we're still greatly outnumbering the enemy. A lot of that's our archers. They are definitely holding us off here. Their bowmen are holding us off here under the thing, and they just keep hitting us with the towers, which is really hurting us. But at least the siege engines aren't really firing as much anymore. Let's steady as many people as we can here. Oh, wow. Oh, there we go. Very heavy melee cavalry of armored camel warriors. That's pretty impressive. They have the scale on these camels. But we are mostly spearmen, so that shouldn't do them much good. And at this point, their gate houses should actually be doing as much damage to them as they are to us. Already some of them are fleeing. We basically have all of our infantry units involved in the battle. If we can get the gateway clear, then we can send in our cavalry. But we're doing an exceptional job. They're all running, and the ones who aren't running are about to start running. This was bloody. We're going to have to stay here for a while and recoup our losses, but again, not a problem. We have plenty of money. So who are you guys? Just archers? Once these swordsmen are gone, desert tribesmen, we should have this. They're already wavering, and wow, there goes the watchtowers.
The enemy is upon us. They're at the walls.
Yeah, they're actually the enemy's walls. Alright, let's get the cavalry in here. Why not? I don't know how they're going to get through our massive men, but they will, somehow. Let's push forward. I love how the shields look when they're holding them over their heads. Here come the cavalry. The Tagmata. Oh, they're having no trouble at all. Yeah, today's a bad day to be you guys. Desert bowmen versus the finest cavalry in this time period. Well, I guess the Huns would like to have a word about that, but the Tagmata are, by the stats anyways, pretty awesome. Let's take a quick look at them. They have a 61 melee attack, 32 melee damage, 61 charge bonus, though they are considered melee cavalry. They have 57 melee defense, 35 armor. Of course, I have them heavily armored, I think. No, actually, these guys do not have armor upgrades. And then they have 250 health, 75 morale, and 101 speed. They are quite effective. There's some Plebinari. Let's take them out, those guys. Tagmata, let's go get these guys. There are some spearmen here, but there's only 40 of them. What we should do is we should send our Plebinari, these guys here, out after the general, Hutar, the desert chieftain, Meanwhile, these guys... Let's get these
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle.
over here. Now you guys can come over here. Along with my Legio. There goes the Clibonari. Did my order not work here? Go. Over there. You guys over here. They're already starting to run. Oh, I get it. There's this barricade. Let's take that down. We may not have to, however. If we can get these guys to run, we can just... Well, let's just take it down. Yeah, they're just kind of waiting here. Man, this barricade's pretty tough. Only 6% damage. Okay, those guys are done for. These guys are getting there. Although they're doing a number on our Tigmata, so let's pull them back. Alright, they did alright. They managed. And they're fleeing. So now, Spearmen. Let's go get those guys. Legios, oh, they're already running. But you know, we should at least claim that gateway. So they're not shooting at us. Okay, our cavalry just sitting here waiting nicely if you guys take down that barricade, which we are at 33%. Let's speed it up a little bit. Come on, guys. So it's interesting to note that the whole point of Belisarius's action against the Vandals in Africa actually had been tried before. It had been tried before by the Romans prior, and they got spanked, basically. The Vandals really took them out, and so it was interesting that Justinian would want to do the same thing, although obviously that happens a lot historically, where when one ruler fails, then subsequent rulers try to improve their own glory by succeeding in that same endeavor. Alright, barricades are down. All cavalry. Let's get this guy. There we go. The best that the Eastern Romans have to offer right here. The creme de la creme. I was going to say cream of the crop, but then I decided to change it. That's why it sounded so different. And boom! So much for the Jesuit chieftain. Let's see if I can find him. There he is. There he is. See him right there? That's actually a really cool golden helmet. And no, this battle's not over. This battle is not over until that sucker dies. Get him. Come on. Oh, no. There he is. There he is. Come on, guys. Come on, you got this. You're surrounding him. Oh. I've lost him. But I presume he's dead, because everybody's cheering. So, huzzah. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, guys. I love these Roman cavalry. They're just so awesome. Alright. Now that's going to be like a Pyrrhic victory here. Because we just did a terrible job. We got ourselves caught in a choke point. Yeah, we lost 958 of our troops, and we only killed 555. But it provided me with plenty of time to show you an entertaining battle and discuss the history. So that at this point, we can truly end this series. So this is the final episode of Total War Attila, the Eastern Roman Empire, and history. And the next time you see me, which probably will not be for a while, just stating that out there, will be with my next series, which will take place just with this one ended, with the rise of Justinian and the last Roman and history. So once again, I'm Marcus Aurelius. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.